the news here yesterday afternoon. A report from the NTSB that a Bernalillo County helicopter that crashed 2 years ago was because of engine failure caused by poor maintenance.
Tonight in a Target 7 investigation, Sasha Lininger finds out about the difficulties of maintaining a helicopter.
This is a picture of Metro 2. The sheriff's office acquired the Huey back in 2000 as part of a military surplus program. It flew rescue missions and fought fires for 22 years all over the state. Well, tonight we are learning over those decades there were many times Metro 2 had to be grounded so repairs could be made.
Helicopters are pieces of equipment and with thousands of moving parts. And if something goes wrong and you're 1,000 feet in the air, there's not a lot of opportunity.
For 7 years, former Bernalillo County Sheriff Darren White ultimately oversaw Metro 2. It's the 52-year-old helicopter that crashed near Las Vegas nearly 2 years ago, killing 3 Bernalillo County Sheriff's deputies and a rescue specialist with the fire department. White says he put someone in charge of that aircraft who was very cautious.
There were times I remember that he would come to me and say, you know, we have something wrong with the aircraft. We're not 100% sure what it is, but we're going to ground it. And it would be grounded for a period of time until they could determine exactly what the problem was and what it would take to fix it. Because it's not something that you can risk.
On Wednesday, the National Transportation Safety Board released this report almost 2 years after the accident. It says the helicopter crashed due to a complete engine failure, citing poor maintenance as a cause. What's your initial reaction reading it for the first time?
It's difficult to read. The report is difficult to read. There's no question. I know if I was sitting in the desk as the sheriff, as I know Sheriff John Allen is reading it, you know, making sure that if there was something that could have been done that wasn't done, how do we ensure that we have the procedures and the policies in place to ensure that doesn't happen again?
Just 3 months prior to this crash, Target 7 had interviewed Under Sheriff Larry Korn. He was piloting the helicopter and was one of the 4 who were killed. He was discussing the challenges of fighting fires from the air and maintaining the helicopter.
These are well-maintained aircraft, very skilled crew. When we go into these things, where the aircraft and the crew are vetted through the U.S. Forest Service to perform these kind of missions, and so there's a lot that goes into it.
Metro 2 crashed in July of 2022 while returning home after helping fight a wildfire near Las Vegas.
Part of the reason why I do this is I'm fearful for that the guys on the ground, men and women on the ground who are fighting these fires, I want to make sure that they're safe.
But it was heartbreaking. And was this preventable? I honestly don't know.
William Taylor is a former law enforcement pilot who looked at this NTSB report. It says 17 flight hours before the crash, the chopper's chip light came on, meaning there was a piece of metal in the oil.
When it starts showing chips, that's obviously a warning sign.
The report shows BCSO sent the chip and oil for analysis. However, they never got results back. Investigators say the oil was drained and flushed, and the elements were removed, cleaned, and reinstalled. No other chips were reported after. Still, many questions remain as to why there was poor maintenance on the aircraft. So at the end of the day, who ultimately is in charge of the maintenance for the police helicopter?
Oh, it doesn't matter what the situation is. At the end of the day, the buck stops with, at that point, me as the sheriff or whoever is the sheriff.
At the time of that crash, Manny Gonzalez was the sheriff. We have reached out to him and have not heard back. Current Sheriff John Allen did send a statement saying, in part, "We have taken every possible step to ensure such a tragedy does not happen again." For Target 7, I'm Sasha Lininger.
Remember, if you have a story for Target 7, call the tip line 505-884-6347 or email newstips@koat.com.